enjoy this one. It's a beautiful gem and a beautiful story. Before I start, I have to take you back in time, back around about 9 years ago, when my father had just passed away. And I can take you even further back than that, to where he began, back in Lightning Ridge in 1961. My father, he came to Australia with a friend, and they decided whether they'd go to the goldfields or the opal mining fields, and they chose the opal mining fields. And ever since then, he's never looked back. My father Jürgen became one of the best opal cutters on the planet, and when it came to rough opal, he really knew his stuff. He knew how to get the best out of a gem.
Yeah, and then it just downgrades whichever shape you carve. You have to get all the sand out and make it clean, and then it's undulated. And then
he really enjoyed teaching people how to cut opal as well, and taught me everything I know. I'm very lucky to have been his son. He also was a great storyteller. He'd tell us stories of people like Johnny the snake catcher in Lightning Ridge and all sorts of amazing, funny things that happened in the game of opal. But one thing he was really good at, that was making friends. People loved him from wherever they came from. He was always there with open arms, always make a cup of tea or coffee, and talk about opal all day long to anyone. But if anyone was doing it tough, Jürgen would be the first, or one of the first, to put his hand up and say, "I can help." He was a good man. All that generosity and goodwill from my father led us to this stone. This is a gem that was from a really good friend of my father's, and I do get a bit choked up about this because this gem means so much. One of the most unique and amazing things about a gemstone is where it comes from and its background. Its sentiment, it's where all of its history has been in the past and where it's going to go. And the awesome part about this amazing gemstone is that I get to cut it, I get to keep it and put it in my collection forever, to give to my son who can live through the same stories, and so on and so on. And that's what makes gemstones so sentimental. And sometimes they don't have to be worth anything. It's about the history of where they've been and who owned it. And that's what means so much to me. This just happens to be an amazing gem, but it wouldn't have mattered. My father passed away 9 years ago, and I still get little messages from little things that happen in life, like this gemstone, that's just letting me know that he's okay and that he's watching over me. And I feel really, really blessed that he is sending little messages like that. You know, a year after he passed away, there's a great story. I had his Leatherman with his name engraved in it, and my son of about 7 years old said to me, "Dad, can I borrow your dad's Leatherman? I promise I'll look after it." And I felt really sad about, or apprehensive about giving it to my son, but anyway, I let him have it. My son took it down to a creek, and he was mucking around. He put it in the top pocket of his shirt and came back without it. He came back in tears and he said, "Dad, I'm really, really sorry, but I lost Poppy's Leatherman." And I was so upset. I was really upset. And 2 days later, one of my friends went down to the creek for a bit of a swim and was sitting on the rapids in the rocks, and he sat on something quite hard, which he thought was a rock, but anyway, he put his hand down and he picked up my dad's Leatherman. He came running up to the edge of the creek where I was still there and said, "Look what I found." And I burst into tears, and I realized it was a message from my dad saying, "I'm here, son. I'm okay, and I'm watching over you." Well, this opal feels exactly the same way. And while it is a $40,000 to $50,000 beautiful gem, it has more sentiment than it has value. So enjoy the process while I'm cutting this. Enjoy the feeling that it's giving me, the joy of being able to polish this beautiful gem. By the way, the opal comes from a field called Alloa. It's a newer field in Lightning Ridge out of all the old fields, and it's a knobby opal. You know, I've bought many stones from this opal miner over the years, and it seems to me that this is going to be the last one I ever buy from him, as he has pretty much given up mining, as he's getting a bit old now, and the body's not quite working the way it was, and you know how it goes, and it's quite sad to see that it's at the end of an era, but the memories will live on in this gem for the rest of my life and my son's life, as I will tell him the stories and carry them through. But hey, what an honour to cut a gem like this, to be able to bring it to its best it can be. And I might even put this one in a pendant for my son's possible future wife, so that they can make memories that can live on in the stone for more generations, to make it a real heirloom. And when a gemstone becomes an heirloom, it becomes history. So I hope you enjoyed that, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.